Hello, and welcome to A Layman Looks at the Word with Hal Richardson. This time we're continuing with our study of the last generation. This is lesson 2 in the series. Last time we touched on some of the significance of the signs in the heavens, and I want to hit that a little bit more this time. You see here a blood moon in Israel. The blood moons happening on the Israeli feasts, on the Jewish festivals, or the feasts of the Lord, have had significant things in our history, and I talked about that. And the ones that we had in 2014 and 2015 definitely had some things happen that we need to pay attention to. One of the main reasons is this is the last sign of a Tetrad occurring on the Lord's feast for 500 years. During this time that we just had, starting with Trump's presidency, Israel equated him to Cyrus, who was the Persian king that let the Jews go back after 70 years of captivity. And Trump was exactly 70 years, 7 months, 7 days when he was inaugurated. And one of the first things that he did was move our embassy to Jerusalem and proclaimed it as the eternal capital of Israel. Well, the Jews were very, very thankful for that. The other thing was the Revelation 12 sign that appeared that we talked about last week. It tells us that the revelation may not be an exact order that we think. Many people think that everything in the Revelation is going to happen in a 7-year period, and there's the Great Tribulation, and those things are going to happen, but things are happening. And the Revelation 12 sign has already appeared to us. When I say that, because it's the sign of Virgo we talked a little bit about last week that appeared in the heavens. But one of the main things about that sign that we need to realize for the terrible things that are happening in the world today is that according to the Bible, at Revelation 12, Michael fights with Satan and takes all of his angels and Satan out of heaven, casts them to the earth, and they pursue against the seed. Well, that's what we're going to go on with today, is the persecution of Christians and Jews, which are the seed. In all history, the persecution has not been higher for Christians than it is now. In 2021, there was 360 million persecuted in the world by RMX News. 5,900 confirmed killed in the Barons.com. Anti-Semitic incidents in the United States were reported at 2017, up 34%, according to the ADL. And anti-Semitic incidents are on a terrible rise across the world. Christians and Jews are being murdered and tortured and raped and persecuted in record numbers around our globe. Jesus warned us of these times. John 15:18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. And in John 16:33, these things have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. This picture is I Am by a Cain. Another sign of the times that we live in as all the prophesied world empires have come. In Daniel's interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dream of the 7 world empires that came in Daniel chapter 2, all of these empires have come to pass, with the last one looming on the horizon now. Babylon has came, and he, of course, at the time of Nebuchadnezzar, he was the head of gold of the statue that he dreamed of Babylon, and God told him that. And then after that was the arms and chest of silver, which was Medo-Persia. And after that was the copper or the brass belly, and that was Greece, the Grecian Empire. And then after that was the 2 legs of iron, which was Rome, which spread into 2 parts. And after that would come the last world empire, which was iron mixed with clay. In this chart that I borrowed from Prophecy Watchers, we see a depiction of Noah's dream and his vision, which he actually wrote a letter in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And he had 9 world empires, and the world empires here are the metal pyramids. One is lead and one is clay. And the lead was ancient Babylon, the time of Nimrod. And of course the clay then was Egypt. And these were world empires. And then the other thing that he had was a fig tree, which represents Jerusalem and Israel. And the other trees were the trees of the nations of the world. So all of these empires have come to pass except the last one, which is going to be a mixture of iron and clay that doesn't mix, which might be a resurgence of Babylon. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff happening today as far as astrology and the other things that are going on in the religious world. But the fig tree, like I said, is Israel. And it's the center because the whole tribulation is built for Israel in the time of the last 7 years of Jacob's trouble, where they'll all come to know the Lord. But all these empires have come to pass. And the last one is a rock cleft without hands that Daniel saw, or Nebuchadnezzar saw, and Daniel interpreted it. And it was a rock that crushed the statue and hit it in the feet, and the statue collapses. And it crushed the statue, and then that rock filled the whole dream and became a world empire that never ends. And that, of course, is the reign of Jesus Christ upon his return for 1,000 years, and then the New Jerusalem comes back, and then throughout eternity. So these things are looking at us right now. The globalism mindset is growing all around the world, pushing for a world government and control. The China attack on the world with COVID-19 virus has shown us how world control can be manipulated with sickness, causing people to blindly do whatever is demanded of them. Socialism is creeping inside of Western civilization, with the younger generations looking forward to an ideology that has proven time and time again in history that it won't work, and is a spear in the heart of capitalism and our republic and freedom in general. After the rapture, which is an imminent thing, the son of Satan, the Antichrist, will have a smooth transition to be a world dictator. And of course, we can read about that in the closing chapters of the Bible in Revelation. Uniting the world religions. Pope Francis is inviting and embracing the major world religions to form one under his control more than any other pope has done before him. Saint and Archbishop Malachi in the 12th century wrote a prophecy of all the popes from then to the last one. There was 112 listed in his prophecy. Pope Francis is the last one, who according to the prophecy will see the destruction of Rome and the coming of the dreadful judge. The Bible teaches that a charismatic religious leader will usher in the Antichrist and his kingdom and cause all the world to worship him. In the Catholic magazine that comes out every month, it says one: world, human family, and church. This concept cannot and has not worked in the hands of mortal man. Only the Holy One of God, Jesus, can lead the universal church and the world that he has established. This will happen during the millennium following Armageddon. There are many wonderful born-again believers in the Catholic Church. I in no way wish to offend them. But it is obvious that the largest Christian organization in the world would be a target of the devil and his influence. Here's a picture of the Pope Paul's audience hall in the Vatican that looks like a serpent's head with the eyes and the fangs. And the huge brass altar that's there on the bottom side of the picture. Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes all the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause them as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And here's wisdom: let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. The technology exists today, same technology we use on our credit cards, or a chip, or on the skin, to literally have a mark that can only be read by computers. Well, that'll conclude this message. I don't want to leave you without hope. Jesus is our way and our truth and our life. He's the one that warned us of these things, and he said, don't be afraid, because I have overcome the world. So us in him can stand fast and hold fast until he comes back for us. He is the only way to the Father. If you don't know him today, ask him into your life. This is Hal Richardson. Join me next time. We'll continue in the last generation. Bye for now.